Hi, it's Warren Huart here. Hope you're doing marvellously well. Today in our How to Arrange series, we're going to talk about a song by an artist called Dubee, and the track is called Young and Restless. Lyric is a 16/17-year-old Canadian artist. This is a song I wrote with a band called The Gallery, and it seemed perfect for Lyric, who's a rock artist. It's edgy, but it's fun and a little bit pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down. I'm going to show you the arrangement ideas, the production ideas, and the mix of this song. As ever, please subscribe. Go to producelikeapro.com and sign up for the email list, and you'll get a whole bunch of free goodies and competition details and all that kind of fun stuff. So let's check out the track. What we have here is multiple things creating a groove. Probably a little complicated for some, but it's just kind of how it evolved. What we started off with was with me doing a beatbox. And then I added an Maschine groove. And I stole that basic groove from another song I wrote called Thing About Love. And there's another one at the top here. Maschine is this incredible, cheap software that you can get. They also make a hardware version, but they make a software version you can get on your iPhone or your iPad. I highly recommend that you go and check it out. It's really cool. When I'm sitting on a plane or anything, I can put on a pair of headphones and write grooves. It's really, really cool, which is what I did with this. And then I stole it and used it on this track. It was another song I wrote. So that's the basic groove. Now on the beatbox, there is EQ, where I'm rolling off everything below 95 so it doesn't get in the way of the kick stomp. And I'm also ducking 1/8 here so it doesn't get in the way of the claps, because those are the two things that I really wanted to push, but this is kind of the rhythm that keeps the song going. So there's a bunch of stomps here, which I did live, just literally by stomping out in the live room. That's miking the floor. Again, same thing. Rolled off some super lows. And you may ask why I did that. That's because we've got kicks here. Here's a live kick. And here we have another stomp. Here's another kick. And lastly, there's a second kick here. So that's the kicks are providing those super lows and the stomps are providing some energy around it. There's a live stomp kick here we're going to add, which has got a ton of verb on it. And some claps. Ton of verb on it, super compressed. And some aggressive claps, a big clap. So that's our basic groove in the song. It just evolved that way, using a lot of elements till it felt good. However, I could have bounced that down to a stereo track or something if you want. You want a little simplicity on it. But that's how it evolved. Now, let's add in the live drums. They're a combination of different things. We've got a live drum kit here. This is the live kick. That's kick in, which is quite heavily EQ'd, as you can hear. Taking out some of the ring. There was excessive amount at 76. It's a good natural kick, but it has to sit in with those other elements. Then a kick out. Again, excessiveness at about 100. It's quite typical. Then both of them have the SSL on it. They're just gated. See, we're using it for the gate. It's on both of them. There's a little compression on the kick in. So then we added a kick sample. kick room. Huge. Which brings in the ambience and everything. Live snare. Against the live snare top and bottom here. So what it is I've got a live snare top and bottom, and then a snare sample which is itself, just a sample of itself against it. Snare room. Add in the overheads from the live kick. Hat. Tom track, obviously there's no toms on here. There's a ribbon mic, an AES ribbon mic out in the room. And then one cymbal mic specifically for the crash. Let's bring in all of our elements now. So that's live drums with the thumps. Adding some tambo. So that's the basic groove of the song. Great. Now that we've got into a little bit of detail on the basic groove, you can see how it kind of evolved from the demo status up until that. There's a print of the stomp at the front, which is heavily EQ'd here, and it's using isotope vinyl. Have a listen. Isotope vinyl is a free plugin. It's really awesome. You can trash out drum sounds. You can do whatever you like. It's basically trying to simulate an old vinyl record. You can add some electrical noise, dust, scratch, all kinds of shenanigans here. Just using wear to just kind of make it sound a little trashier. See, hit all the bottom end, put on the plugin. It just makes it sound cheap and great. And then after that, the crystallizer is even trashing out even more. Crystallizer kind of just holds the whole thing together. So what the crystallizer is doing there is allowing that kind of decay to kind of sound like a reverse. It goes dum, do, ga. Have a listen. It goes dum, ba, da, don't, da. It's not as exaggerated as that. We could exaggerate it more here. See what it's doing? So it's a kind of a cool effect. You can obviously do that by reversing effects, but that's a quick, easy way of doing it. So that's our intro. So let's have a listen to it. There is also the vocal hook in there, which has also been heavily EQ'd. Again, using vinyl, free plugin. Take that off. So that's a bounce with effects. Again, crystallizer as well. Great plugins. There we've got some reverse cymbals. We've got our usual explosion, but reversed. Another cymbal underneath reversing. So those are our elements. Those are all of our basic drum elements. Now for me, when I did the guitars on this, I've got, and bass, I've got the basic groove you can hear here. So it's a very simple groove. That's Lyric playing lead guitar over the top. Here's the bass. And And I'm trashing that bass out. I'm using the SansAmp. Just a boring DI. Put the SansAmp. It's great. Little L1 because this was the demo bass again, just the demo bass. Got a bit of bass auto tune on it, which isn't really doing anything there, but it's there just in case I. Quite often, I know I talk about this a lot. When I'm writing the song with an artist, because I originally wrote this with a gallery, I'll take the demo and I'll just keep adding to it. And you know, if there's something magical when you write the song, you know, why redo it? Okay, so the acoustic guitar part is just following that da 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 down down down. Same groove as the bass. Just some low roll off to get it out of the way of the bass and all of the bottom end in the drums. There's an R comp here. It's relatively aggressive, I'll be honest. You know, there's a lot going on in this mix by my standards. So the acoustic guitar is being bussed. Our MV2 is across that, which is always a big favorite. Okay, great. So there's the acoustic guitar, which is doubled by a heavy rhythm track that I did. There's the lead guitar. SansAmp. An H delay. SansAmp. Left and right, one down the middle. Solo it. You got this one. Just a low. One side has the delay on it, the left side, and the right side doesn't. It helps with width. And then down the middle is just a low octave, really super low in there. And then the next pair of heavies are these. So we've got a two-part guitar part. This one's going second half. Cool, so the second half is doing this. So it's creating a loose harmony. Sometimes it's playing in unison and sometimes it's playing in harmony. Here's the two parts together again, and you can see it like creates this cool part. Cool. So there's quite a lot of different actions going on there, but most of it is keeping the same feel. So even though there's a relatively large amount of guitars playing, they are playing the same feel. So let's just do all the guitars, acoustics and electrics and have a listen. Last but not means least is a slide guitar part. And here it is. So that's me playing slide there. It's subtle. So what we did now is we added Lyric playing a lead guitar part over the top. And here's his lead added to it. Cool. So that's him adding his own flair, his own lead guitar parts. Other than that, we got a little, what we were calling a blippity blop synthesizer part. Again, done in Logic. Cool, so that is the intro. Let's listen to all of the elements together.
Thing about hope and the thing about me.
Cool. So this obviously is the first verse. Now you can see I've done volume, writing and stuff here. If you go to my vocal tips video, everything that we're doing here is explained. But it's very important for me, even though I'm sometimes parallel compressing when I'm recording the vocal, to still do these volume rides because I need it to hit the compressors more evenly to sound fuller. Otherwise you're asking the compressor to kind of do things, you know, a little naively, like only compressing high stuff and then the low stuff isn't getting full enough. So let's have a listen to that.
The thing about love and the thing about peace, thing about hope and the thing about me, is we keep on keeping on when life gets hard.
So that's pretty full and in your face the whole time. So yeah, go to the vocal tips video. We can give you a link to it here and you'll see all the different tricks I did on that. Now, the only other stuff that's going on here, stuff drops out. We go down to the basic acoustic guitar, bass, and that groove. With, of course, a tambourine.
The thing about love and the thing about...
Very low, just an eighth note.
And the thing about me is we keep on keeping on when life gets hard. You gotta have strength and you gotta have
bass comes back in.
Gotta keep faith when they're telling you lies. You gotta keep on keeping on.
There's some swooshes here getting into the chorus.
We are the young and restless. Together no one can stand against us. We are the young and restless.
There's a stereo Telecaster part. One which was played by Phil Allen, an old friend of mine. And I doubled. Just to create some width. Keeps it rolling, even because the song's da-na-na-na-na, da-da-na-na-na-na. So that's going on, but then there's this this part just filling in to keep the groove moving. Light, but it really helps. Now, as you can probably hear, there's a huge lots of backgrounds in there. They're low, but they give a lot of width. Here is all of the gang vocals together. It's me, it's the singer of the gallery, Brendan, and it's also Phil Allen, who was working with me on this track.
Together no one can stand against us. We are the young and restless. We are one. We are.
So it's a gang vocal. We're like, we are the young and restless. Together no. And we got an octave of it. We got an octave above, and then there's a third harmony in there as well.
We are the young and restless. Together no one can stand against us. We are the young and restless.
Now there's a lot. Again, if you're working and you're running out of tracks, you can take that and bounce that down to a stereo file. When we're working fast and moving through songs, sometimes we don't go back and consolidate probably as often as we could. But after doing that, you know, we could have bounced that to, you know, a stereo file and just had that easily done, because it's all going to this gang vocal bus here, which just has some light compression on it. So it's great. Now, on the re-intro, we've got this whoa part that you can hear full together, and we'll solo afterwards. Back to lyric playing a lead part. On the lead guitar, I've got some verb and I've got some EchoBoy delays going on with one of my favorite plugins with the analog channel, just to kind of make it a little brighter. Just a tape simulation, it's a great plugin. I try to use things subtly. You'll notice I don't do massive EQ things. I try to do lots of small EQs instead of like big, huge beats, you know, boosts and cuts. And one of the things that's great about the analog channel is because it's a tape simulator, you can kind of pretend that it's an EQ, because tape obviously affects it pretty dramatically. Okay, great. So there's not a huge amount of keys in this song, as you can tell. We've got the blippity blop. We've got a lot of these kind of reverse stuff. The only other thing that's really happening in these choruses is a great synth part here. Let's have a listen. It's just the synth playing, framing the chords. It's a very, very simple single note thing here. Just a sub bass to help reinforce my distorted SansAmp bass. I'll do that quite often. You can have a distorted SansAmp bass and you can just sit there and kind of add some little extra loads from a synth bass. Blippity blops are going on, but I think the main thing is the synth. It's just framing the chords. Cool. The other fun thing that we're doing in the verses, and it appears quite heavily in the second verse, is these swells on the keys. Have a listen here. This is a fun little guitar part that I did with Lyric. Have a listen. We had a lot of fun with that. I grew up a huge Queen fan, so I love doing that kind of stuff. Just a little insanity out of nowhere. Just a fun thing to do. Okay, I did that also in a Hey Violet track recently, so I remember thinking of the same stuff. Okay, great. So then we're in the second chorus, which is essentially same as the first, but here's where it gets kind of fun on the bridge. Let's loop the bridge so you can have a listen. Some solo parts from... So some little solo parts, but some mellotron, harpsichord, the blippity blips again, and the reverse. Fat synth, and of course the bass. So it's a fun bridge. Cool, so yeah, there's a total, like, it's a complete Beatle ripoff, that whole bridge. Why not? If you're going to steal from the best. Okay, so next, after that bridge, just listen down. The breakdown, chorus with the stomp. Lead guitar, double chorus out. Lyric playing some lead stuff. The intro going back to the whoa-ho-hos. So thanks ever so much for watching. Please, as ever, leave some comments and questions below. I'd love to have a discussion about recording this kind of stuff. As you can tell, I started off with the original demo, hence a lot of DI'd things, and then added to it, initially built a loop in iMaschine, and then beatboxed to it, and then played live drums to it. So I did quite a lot of work to it to get it to this status. But I actively encourage that, because if the song, when you're writing it, is unique and sounds great, why start again and reproduce it? That's the great thing about working in digital, is we can just keep adding and subtracting. We don't have to throw it away and start again, like we used to have to when we were fully in analog. It was either on tape or it wasn't. Now we can transfer things really easily. We're very blessed. So please, as ever, leave some questions, tips, comments, and subscribe, and go to Produce Like a Pro and sign up for the email list to get some free goodies. And thank you ever so much for watching.